Well, hello there and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. We've got yet another DSA video for you today, keeping with the theme of the week with the Adventurer faction. And today, we're going to be talking about easily a straight up just busted character and overpowered craziness. We talked about Frank and Proxima yesterday, and today it's going to be all about Raya. I'm going to show you why Raya is going from the B tier overall all the way up to most likely S, for sure within PvP and most likely overall as well. Raya is capable of just dishing out some of the craziest damage that we have seen in this game, and you can just look at her. You know when you look at someone, they've got the crazy eyes, you can look at her and know she's crazy and absolutely ridiculous. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. But before we do, we've got the question of the day, and it's a simple one. Have you seen the movie Raya and the Last Dragon? Pretty solid movie overall. If you haven't, go ahead and check it out on Disney+. Let me know down in the comments below, and let's start today's video. Alrighty, now you're probably asking yourself, Cozy, why is Raya just now amazing? Why wasn't she amazing before? And why is Frank and Lily exceeding expectations and bringing her all the way up to the top of the class in damage dealing? Now, Raya, if you guys have followed my videos before, you guys know that Raya's had great stats, really solid abilities, but just an extremely terrible faction. It's like having a beautiful restaurant, but your entire waiting service sucks. You know, metaphor also sucked. But we're going to talk about why Raya is so solid, what damage she can pump out, why she's my favorite to clear bots in PvP, and you can literally end matches within seconds with what she can do with her abilities. Not only did Frank and Lily make Raya much better, but Raya herself is making all the adventurers a ton more viable as well. So in today's video, we're going to go and briefly look at her stats, how it works better with the new leadership, what moves work with her, and how is she just pumping out so much turn meter and damage. And then we're going to go and take a look at a couple of battles. Why is this should be Princess S tier? Let's go ahead and jump into it. So here is Crazy Eyes herself, Raya, and we're going to go ahead, as always, and jump into the stats and then break down the abilities and why she's just, you know, a Super Saiyan, as I've been calling her, and why she's going from that B tier to the S tier. Now, Raya, you know, you got to go young Raya if you haven't. Right now, currently not free to play, guys. Just like these games happen all of the time with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force, it's going to be a little time before we see Raya, but I'm hoping that the adventurers come to the free-to-play faction more so than just about any other characters in the game because of how much they're going to aid the free-to-play players within the raid and all over. So, as always, we're going to go and start out with the stats. Taking a look, guys, really high offense with almost 2,800 offense, very towards the top as an offense character, and she doesn't even need it because of the crit damage and the critical chance that she has. Now, her defense is a little on the low side, not too bad at 700. Health is right around that Ursula range. Pretty squishy. It's probably the biggest complaint about Raya. She does go down pretty easily, but with massive, colossal speed, she's going to be able to get the turns off pretty quickly. And under that Shan Yu lead, you should find yourself going very fast. Now, if you're using Frank, you will go slower, but she can take a punch. And as you guys know from yesterday's video, the adventurers survive so well within this game. So, a couple things to notice. We're going to take a look at the crit chance, guys, at 25%. You're going to add that with Frank's massive boost of, I believe, 18%. That's going to boost her well over to close to 50% of the time. She'll be hitting critical hits, which is going to work with Lily's passive like magic. Now, crit powers at that big time 180. That's going to be huge for that big instant one-hit KOs that we've been showing you. And then we've got ourselves potency at 31, tenacity at 20%. All in all, really solid stats, and that was never Raya's problem. She always had the stats, but she didn't have the team to back it up. Let's go ahead, break down those abilities, and let's jump into some battles. Now, kicking off Raya's ability, we're going to look at her basic Protector's Strike. Now, already a really great move with Moana in the game. Raya is going to call the highest offense character on the team and has pretty much a guaranteed chance, around 80%, but she does find tactics a lot to go and assist her with her double hitting move. Now, hitting twice is going to be massive for Raya because of such a high crit chance. She'll be removing and stripping and stealing turn meter a ton from your enemies. On top of that, she'll be calling one of your big time hitters like Moana or like Frank or some other ones to really aid in the battle. So Protector Strike, really solid. Now that we're getting more offense powerhouses within the Adventurer faction, it's gotten even better than it once was before. Now, if you've seen the movie Raya, next up we've got Tuk Tuk, which is the best part of the movie, bar none. And we're going to be talking about Roll Tuk Tuk. So, Roll Tuk Tuk will be giving the adjacent adventurer characters 40% turn meter. That's going to be on top of all that turn meter that you get just naturally from the faction now. But also, you'll be getting even more if you crit on the way, and it's going to be hitting a flanking row. Now, on top of that, guys, great damage here, and you're going to give haste to your adjacent allies. So, just a solid move overall. And usually, you wanted to start the battle with this to feed that turn meter and get things rolling. But now, you're going to want to start the battle with the new best move in the game and really what makes Raya shine above just about any other character, and that is going to be Warrior's Fury. Wow. Warrior's Fury, I don't even know where to begin. It's like Hercules' Column, but like on steroids. It's nuts. What this move is going to do is crazy. Let's try to break it down so you guys can understand. Now, first, both of your adjacent allies are going to get evasion, which is great for Lily. It's great for anybody, but it's going to go ahead and give some nice synergy to the adventurer faction. On top of that, you're going to hit almost 2,000 damage up to 2 times to all of the enemies. So you're going to hit twice, so that's 4k damage, plus 40% bonus damage per adventurer ally. So that's where you really start to get things stacking like crazy. And Cozy Club, remember, Frank's lead, you're going to be taking 10% and gaining 10% turn meter on top of that. But it's going to happen dose times. It's going to happen 2 times. So 20% from the entire team with such a high crit rate. It's going to happen all of the time. You're going to be triggering Lily from this insane, powerful, damaging move. And if you want things to get extra crazy, go ahead and, check out the newest Barley bomb in the world. It's exactly what I said. It's bonkers. It's broken. It's ridiculous. Look at this damage just completely nuking so many legendaries. Like on this clip in particular, you've got a full legendary team. Who knows how much month this guy put in and how long it took him to farm all these legendary characters. And Raya, she doesn't care. She doesn't care. And she wipes out the entire team. And even if you don't manage to wipe out a character, you're going to get such a big boost in speed turn meter. If you got that guaranteed crit, you're going to get 100% turn meter back to Raya. Then you're going to lead into the Roll Tuk Tuk, which is going to go ahead and give your entire team more turn meter. And it's just a train. It's an absolute freight train. And this is what's making Raya an absolute wrecking force. But we are not done yet, Cozy Club. We have Hero of Heart. And this passive is also pretty dang cool. Now, I've given up on trying to understand the percentage numbers as Raya. I don't know. It says it's supposed to proc more than it does, and Hercules procs all the time. So you can look at that with a grain of salt. However, if Raya evades an attack, she's going to have a chance to stun an enemy on the field, which this is one of those kind of luxury passives. You don't really expect it, but when it happens, really, really solid. And you can definitely shut down the Hercules and the Ursulas out there quite frequently with how many times they're going to be clearing your evasions. Now, on top of that, Raya is all about evasion, and she's going to be just stacking this evasion more and more each time this is going to trigger. And she's going to deal some nice damage and some turn meter to boot. So she's got the whole package deal. And now with the proper faction, let's go ahead and jump into a battle and truly show you what she can do. Now, I've got a lot of battles to show you guys today. I'm going to take you through 3 separate battles, all a little bit different, one longer, one quick, and kind of show you guys how Raya works and why she's so great with the adventurer faction. But quickly, I want to talk about Raya and Namari. Now, guys, if you don't know, they both have abilities that scale off bonus damage depending on their allies. And that's why typically you want to rock a speed stone on both of them depending on their role. Now, the reason why Raya is so much quicker out the gate than Namari is pretty simple. If you look at the Kingdom villains and you look at how Namari works, her big arrows, they're going to do some good damage and they're going to do 40% more damage depending on the Kingdom villains. But unfortunately, there's no Kingdom villains that can provide a lot of buffs, and so you will have Shan Yu and get that speed going a lot faster. But if you're fighting someone that's not prepared, the adventurers obviously have Barley, which is going to be a huge buff. And with Namari, you got to get that jungle cat out first. Whereas with Raya, you can start out with Warrior's Fury and get right to the big time killing. You're going to see it here in a second. It's crazy. So as always, here we are in the battle screen, guys. Keep in mind that we're going to be teaching you guys the best adventurer teams on a later video. But for now, we're just going to show the gloriness of Raya and the new and improved Raya bomb through Barley. And to be frank, I think at this point, this is by far the best Barley bomb available. So I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys what you need to know about the lineup. And as a full adventurer team, you're not going to beat every single team out there. You can probably handle about 80% of the matches. Those full legendaries and some speed leads can slow you down. If you're looking to counter this team, if you have Pain and Panic, you can stasis Frank or Dwayne and really slow down this team and the momentum that they have. But Raya should be that first target to slow down, because as soon as Warrior's Fury comes out, it's going to be a curtain call for you, and it's just nuts. However, on a different note, if you're looking to counter this team, you can do so a couple of ways. Speed is going to be king, as always, in DSA, so get that Kingdom team out there. The pre-meta before this was that T8.5 Kingdom teams for those that are super whales and have the big mega Kingdom teams. Those that are free to play, and if you run into this team, Pain and Panic, and going to Stasis, Mr. Dwayne Johnson should shut down the team for the most part. You can use, it's going to depend on where your Ursula lands Silence or where you put Silence in the first place. But in countering them, slowing down Raya, getting rid of the main offense of the team, and then controlling Dwayne is going to be what it's all about. Alrighty, guys, so as you can see, we've got a full level 80 legendary max team with Belle as the exception. This is what a lot of people are running in the meta, and I'm going to show you how we can swiftly take care of this team with no problem. Now, this guy made the mistake to go ahead and do the polymorph on Barley, but with such a high crit chance, you're still going to be able to do so much crit damage and turn meter reduction with Raya. We do that right out the gate. We got our entire team and procced Lily's passive, which is the whole point of that first move. We want to get the crits out there to get the passive so that we can then get Frank his turn and dump the waterfall. Now, we've got ourselves a big turn meter advantage outside of having Beast on his team, which I'll say now, Hercules is a good counter to the adventurers, but Beast is a lot better just because the sheer amount of pure freaking turn meter going out to the team. And now we're going to be shadowing Frank like we talked about on our last video. If you want to go check out the Proxima video and why we do that, go check up above. As always, we're going to throw our zip lines in the back, really get even more turn meter spreading to our team. And we've got a full legendary level 80 team, but all it takes is one bad mistake to really get ahead. Now we can go ahead. We're going to actually copy Raya instead of Frank to call more and more adventurers to aid us in battle. We're going to throw Tuk Tuk out on the field, and this is where things get out of control, and what you guys have seen so much on this entire video is where Raya just... There's not a lot you can do with Raya at the helm once she gets going and gets past that first turn, because once these adventurers start rolling, the ball just moves, and it's absolutely crazy. So let's go ahead. We're going to end this battle pretty swiftly. We can do so a couple of ways. We'll do the zipline one more time, take care of Hercules, and start doing some core damage to Beast. He will get a turn, not a big deal. We're going to keep calling Moana with those basics, and then we're going to swiftly kill this team. So this is one example of a team that does well, and it's not the traditional big-time one-hit KO, but still nets you the W. Alrighty, guys, here we are with battle number 2, and we've got yet another full legendary team with a Hero Hamada lead. Now, as long as things go our way and he makes the mistakes that I think he will, we'll go ahead and just get a very quick W. Now, as always, they're going to try to take down our Raya and our Barley really fast so that we can't get our job done. But because the way Lily passives work, all we need to do is get one crit there for the most part with one of these characters to restore balance in the force to Raya, get that polymorph off of her. And here we go. We've got our Frank turn. We're going to reduce all of that turn meter. And without a doubt, you're about to see Lily pop her passive here any moment. It hasn't happened. It's a 30% chance. Usually it happens by now. And we're having a lot of bad luck right now, I'll be honest. But we'll be fine. So we can go ahead. We can charm, or we can just guarantee that that passive's going to trigger and get more crits on the field to go ahead, and she's just not wanting to trigger it because I'm filming. This is just the way it works as a content creator. But at this point, we're just waiting, and we're waiting so that Raya, before she gets her turn, you'll have Lily here trigger the passive, get Raya going before the whip happens, and then you're going to be able to swiftly and securely get the W. Now, we don't need a free pack right now. We're going to go ahead, get the zip line rolling, and that crit is going to trigger. Finally, there is the passive just in time for Raya to come back out of that. Let's get the double whip going, all the turn meter back to our team, and this is how it works. It's very hard because if you can't kill Raya, we're actually going to do this on Beast just to slow him down. But if you can't control Raya, it doesn't matter if she has a Barley Bomb or not, there's just nothing that can stop the damage and the reduction that she does so well. So again, guys, we're going to keep shadowing Frank and keep on abusing how amazing Proxima is. And at this point, it doesn't matter what he does. He can try to catch up with Sugar Rush. He can try to do big damage. He's going to kill probably a good chunk of our characters. It just doesn't matter. Mass impact, awesome. Let's bring back Lily. We now have Quest of Yore, which we can go ahead. We can give to anyone, but we'll give it to Raya. We're going to pop this and get Tuk Tuk really rolling out in the back. And that's all she wrote. Let's finish up business here. We're going to have to go after this Baymax. We'll go ahead and crack some coconuts over him. But at this point, the battle is ours. There's nothing that he can do to catch up to that big time damage. The one-shotting Hercules, it's just too much for him. So, again, this last part's taking a little bit long, but you guys kind of get the point here. We'll go ahead. Let's see if we can strip this taunt with Lily. We did indeed. And now we can kill everything we need to kill. We're getting evasions. That's fine. He can avoid the death as long as he can, but we're going to get the W. So that's a perfect example of why Raya, even when things don't go perfect, doesn't matter because you usually can turn the match around. Alrighty, now we've got one more battle to show you guys, and we're fighting all these speed leads right now. I don't know why, but it doesn't really matter. If we don't fight a speed lead, it's instant KO. They lose. But if we do, it just depends on what happens in the opening rounds. And right now, it's still looking pretty good. Now, fun fact, we actually don't mind if the Intimidate goes on Raya, as we're able to go ahead and Barley Bomb a lot safer with Herc on the field. For instance, I can give this Barley Bomb over to her without the counter now, and Raya is still going to go next. Now, as you guys can see, we've got the guaranteed crit, we've got the crit damage, and even with the speed lead, this is what's going to happen to a all maxed out legendary team. They just cannot deal with the damage of the Barley Bomb of Raya. I just took out all of them, gave myself full turn meter, and now we're looking at a bunch of dead, very expensive dead characters. And now we can just copy our characters and just manipulate the battlefield so that we win with no hesitation. Hercules is going to try to come back. Beast will gain some extra turns, but it's going to be a little too late. And he used the forfeit. So that's battle number 3. You guys saw 3 different battles and kind of each one being a little bit different. We've got battles that went quick and battles not so quick. And you really don't know. If the enemy misplays, you're going to get an instant W. And if they don't, you can see the other battles and how we kind of made our way to the victory. So as you can see, this is one of those videos where I don't even really have to talk about it all that much. You guys can just see Raya's true potential. And if you're going against her, you want to take her down first, as she is the locomotive that gets the adventure faction rolling. And if you can get rid of her, she's like that Moana in Oceanics or the Hercules within Mythicals. You can really shut down the team you're facing. She is squishy. She's got a great passive. But if you get that damage off, she's going to be an elite damage dealer within the game. She's great in raids because of the new Frank lead and giving out so much turn meter. And on top of that, her damage is just bonkers in PvP. So, guys, that is going to be it. That is why Raya is a Super Saiyan. Y'all, not hearing enough from you guys in the comment section below. Let me know something about the Adventure faction or any thoughts on DSA. Typically, people just use it as a sounding board that they're mad at Glue or mad that they're not a free-to-play character, and expect that to come as well. So I'll comment back to most of them, guys. Appreciate you guys so much for stopping by the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, follow my Twitch if you haven't. It's all in the description. I stream every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And until next time, stay cozy.